Hey guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Tuesday, the 12th of June. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm using the Gay Tarot for this reading. Let's have a look at what the cards want you to be aware of and what's coming up. So we have the Seven of Swords in reverse, we have the Youth of Wands, and we have the Two of Cups in reverse. Okay, interesting. So let's see what this means. First of all, the Seven of Swords. We've got this young kid on a skateboard and he's delivering the mail, but loads of the letters are going missing because he's just interested in how cool he is and how skilled he is on a skateboard, and he's showing off and he's really being rather selfish. So it's all about him and he's not doing a particularly good job. So the Seven of Swords usually represents taking things from other people, competing with other people, getting into a lack mentality and feeling like you're entitled to take something that's not yours. It's the Seven of Swords has to do with being underhanded and sly in a way, and really being self-interested most of all. It's in reverse, so that's really nice because it immediately turns it around into you not being self-interested, but being interested in other people and in other people's well-being. So you're not particularly, your feelings are in a good place because you're not insecure so that you have to show off, for instance. You're calm and contented within yourself, and that's why you're able to focus on other people because you're not your primary problem. You know, if you were struggling massively with depression on this day and it took you half an hour to get out of bed, then you would have to exercise great self-care and really look at yourself and be there for yourself so that you can move on and have a good day. But that's not the case. You're really sorted in terms of your own emotional state and in terms of your physical state, and you're really ready to do something which is going to serve other people. The next card is the Youth of Wands. The Youth of Wands is a page. It's between a page and a knight. So it's inexperience. It's just learning how to do something. And this young man, he's just learning how to do the lights at a theater. So they have presentations here on the stage and he's learning how to do all the technical stuff, put the filters on the cameras, do the right angles, and he's learning about that. So once he has learned the basics, he can go anywhere in the world with that. And I mean, in terms of his career, that can go in a million different directions. He can become the head light engineer on any sort of film or theater production. He can also become a film director if that's his ultimate dream. Wands is fire, remember? It's life purpose and it's passion. And it's what do I really want to do, and what am I learning, and what am I willing to kind of what situations am I willing to put myself in to get what I ultimately want? So if you want to be a photojournalist and you really want to work for National Geographic, you can't immediately get there. I mean, some people can. Most people will have to work their way up to get to National Geographic. You'll have to prove yourself in terms of your pictures and the consistency of your work, and other people will have to take notice of you and approve of your work and support your work so that finally you can get to the pinnacle of your career. So here today we've got something about you being selfless, and as a result of being selfless, you're rewarded for that by being given an insight into what it is you like, or you may be confronted with something you like or someone you like that it just attracts you and appeals to you. And it's something that you kind of devote yourself to because you can see and you can feel on an intuitive level that it will lead to something further down the road. It's going to take you places. The youth isn't always going to stay the youth. He'll become the knight and then the prince and then the king. Finally, we have the Two of Cups in reverse. And the Two of Cups is about love and romance. It's about loving yourself. It's about loving other people. It's about connecting with others so that you heal certain parts of yourself that aren't touched by love and which are more in the domain of the ego, which can be really painful emotionally. And you really create something that's strong, and because it's healing, it makes you even stronger, and it gives you this great capacity to feel joy and to connect and share yourself with another human being. It's interesting that in this deck, because this is the gay tarot, that they've decided to represent it like this, because for a lot of gay people, loving yourself can be something of a trial. Because I don't want to go into a whole thing about what it means to be gay here, but most gay kids, they understand that they're gay at some point. They figure it out for themselves, and then they realize that, oh, this doesn't really fit into the society that I live in. It doesn't really quite work. Those are the people that my parents are talking about in such derogatory ways. So young gay men learn to fragment certain parts of themselves and hide them away. So people don't like that about me, so I'll put that in a box and lock it away in the safe, and no one will ever see that. And that's why gay men often become very good at acting a part or playing a role, so that they don't get exposed as being a fraud, which is what we often feel to be, especially if you're hiding something like being gay, like having this major skeleton in the closet. Then first of all, you're gonna hate yourself for carrying this burden and having to hide it, even though it's not your fault. You were born that way. It's just something that is. The fact that society, I mean, has come a long way, but that it's still so against it, that's really the reason why discovering that you're gay is a difficult thing. If being gay was the most amazing, most valued thing in our culture, then if you discovered at 12 that you were gay, they would be like, hooray, let me shout it from the rooftops, because everyone's going to now put me on a pedestal and think I'm wonderful, but that doesn't happen. So the more and more you fragment yourself, the more parts of yourself. This doesn't have to be about being gay or not. If you're female and you don't like your thighs because you always think they're too big, this is a day to really make peace with yourself and to reintegrate all of those parts of yourself that you've kind of hacked off. So I hate my thighs. I don't like the way that I spill secrets when I drink too much, and I don't like the fact that I didn't really get to the PhD and I only got to the master's because that was always a dream of mine. So those kind of things we sweep under the rug and we try and just forget about them, but under the rug they cause there even is a rug here, because under the rug we'll still feel them and hate ourselves for them in a way. And today it's about looking in the mirror and reaching out and saying, I love you. I love you for everything that you are, for the scars on your body that are unattractive or that I feel are unattractive, for being gay, for being short, for being too bright, for being not bright enough, whatever it is. All of us have something about ourselves that we dislike. So that card is in reverse. So in this case, it's about coming to terms with yourself and reconnecting. It is in reverse, so there's a sense that I'm not in love. I'm not feeling like I'm being open and that I'm totally in love with myself. What I'm focusing on is working at something, and really all of the things that are in reverse today are your feelings. So your selfishness is, and some of us are selfish, and we all have a survival instinct, so to some degree we all think about ourselves at times to the exclusivity of everyone else. So your feelings of negativity or selfishness are suppressed, and your inner feelings of love and self-love, they aren't resolved either, and instead you're focusing on work and making that happen. But what's really useful is if you actually turn this around. If you decide to be selfish in the sense that, do you know what, today is a day where I'm going to make sure that I get back in touch with myself and that I fall in love with myself and that the fingers actually touch and that I forgive myself for being gay or for being overweight or for being not good enough or for being the family's black sheep. And I give myself a hug and I embrace myself and I fall in love with myself again. And when you do that, then you're able to communicate with other people about what you've experienced. You'll realize that you're not alone. Other people also struggle with coming out of the closet, with disappointing their parents, with character traits that they're not comfortable with. Maybe you're not good at conflict and you wish you could stand up for yourself more, but you can't, and you give yourself such a hard time for it. So it's about acceptance, and then sharing that with other people is really going to lead to a beautiful sense of being part of a community, being part of something bigger than yourself, and being able to speak about your emotions freely, and thereby strengthening your relationships, your personal relationships, your romantic relationships, your new romantic relationships that could potentially appear today because you're changing your vibration, so other people are going to see you differently. Or it can just be friendships, talking about something that's bothering you, or sharing something secret with a friend. That is all stuff that kind of brings you back to the right size, and where you feel like you can connect with people and you don't have this huge secret that you're keeping to yourself, because the longer you isolate yourself with it, the bigger and bigger it becomes. So on the flip side of all of this, and I have turned this around and played with it, on the other side of this, you may not, let's say you do want to come out, and that's actually the issue, that you're gay and you want to come out. Then your ego is going to tell you don't do it because you'll lose your job, you'll lose your career over it. But what really you ought to do is not worry about the career so much. Jobs will come and go. You being gay, that's not going to come and go. So come to terms with that and share that with people today. This is an amazing day to come out. And if it does have an effect on your work, so be it. You don't want to be working in an environment that's hateful anyway. And I know that's easily said, but this is a day that supports you in coming out. So the universe doesn't support you just to kick you in the teeth the day after. So if you do lose your job as a result of this, the universe will support you in finding new work and finding a way forward. But it's a day to reintegrate yourself and be the true you, and it's an opportunity to love yourself. 7 and 1 is 8 and 2 is 10. 10 is 1 in numerology, and we had this yesterday as well. 1 is about being in charge, taking the initiative, standing in your own power, and really initiating something that comes from you and is about you. So I'm suggesting that if you do have something that you've hidden for a long time, that you actually make a go of it and reveal that. Or if you've got nothing to hide, I would suggest that you channel that emotional energy into something work-wise, something creative, because you can really express yourself very well today. So if you're someone who isn't affected by any of these problematic sides of the reading, then really use this to pour that into career progression and really wowing people in your job. So I hope you have a fabulous day. If you would like a private reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to order your reading. Please remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.